I was nursing my third beer when Holland walked into the bar. Fuck. I didn't expect to see him here. Zane. Didn't know you'd be here, he said, sliding onto the stool next to me. I shrugged. Just needed a drink. You. Same, he ordered a whiskey neat. Rough day at work. I nodded, not really listening. Holland was. Distracting. His shirt was tight across his shoulders, and when he leaned in to talk, I could smell his cologne. You okay, he asked. You seem off. I'm fine, I lied. Just tired. Ty appeared out of nowhere, slapping us both on the back. You two are looking cozy, he said with a wink. I felt my face heat up. Shut up, Ty. It's not like that. Holland laughed, but it sounded forced. Yeah, Zane's not into guys, remember. Something in his tone made me look at him sharply. Was that disappointment? Whatever you say, Ty smirked. Hey, you guys coming to the game next week? I've got extra tickets. Hell yeah, I said, grateful for the change of subject. As Ty wandered off, Holland turned to me. You sure you're okay with me coming? I know we're not that close. I met his eyes, and for a second I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I managed. It'll be fun. What the fuck was wrong with me? The week flew by, and suddenly it was game day. I was running late, cursing as I fumbled with my keys. My phone buzzed. Holland, where are you? Kickoff in 20. Shit, I muttered, typing back on my way. Save me a seat. I sprinted to the stadium, weaving through the crowd. Holland waved from the entrance, 2 beers in hand. Thought you might need this, he grinned, handing me one. You're a lifesaver, I said, taking a long swig. Our fingers brushed, and I felt that weird jolt again. We hurried to our seats. Ty and Ross were already there, deep in conversation. Nice of you to join us, Ty smirked. I flipped him off, settling in next to Holland. That's when I noticed. Dude, are we wearing the same shirt? Holland looked down, then burst out laughing. Guess great minds think alike. Ty and Ross started teasing us, but I didn't care. Holland's laugh was infectious. The game started, and holy shit, it was intense. Every time our team scored, Holland and I would jump up, shouting and high-fiving. During halftime, I stood up, snack run. Want anything? I'll come with, Holland said quickly. These two are useless at choosing good stadium food. As we walked, Holland kept glancing at me, then looking away. What, I asked. Do I have something on my face? No, he said, biting his lip. It's just. Never mind, I'll tell you later. I raised an eyebrow but didn't push it. Whatever it was, it could wait. Right now I was having too much fun to care. We got our snacks and headed back, shoulders bumping, as we navigated the crowded concourse. For a moment, I wondered what it would be like to grab his hand, to pull him closer. Where the fuck did that thought come from? I shook my head, focusing on the game ahead. But as we sat back down, Holland's thigh pressed against mine, and I didn't move away. What the hell was happening to me? The game ended with a nail-biting victory. We stumbled out of the stadium, riding high on adrenaline and beer. Fuck yeah, I shouted, throwing an arm around Holland's shoulders. He stiffened for a second, then relaxed into it. Ty smirked. You two are adorable. Shut up, I said, but I didn't move my arm. We ended up at a diner, cramped in a booth. Holland sat next to me, our thighs touching again. I should have moved. I didn't. Ross's phone rang. Shit, it's Sarah. I gotta take this. As he left, Ty spotted some college buddies. Mind if I catch up with them? Go ahead, Holland said. Suddenly it was just us. The air felt thick, charged. So I said, desperate to break the silence, what was that thing you wanted to tell me earlier? Holland's face went pale. Oh, that. You don't have to. No, I should, he interrupted. He took a deep breath. Zane, I have a crush on you. The world stopped. My brain short-circuited. You, what? Holland wouldn't meet my eyes. I like you. As more than a friend. Fuck. Fuck. What do I say? What do I do? Holland, I swallowed hard. I'm straight. The words felt wrong in my mouth. But they were true, weren't they? Holland nodded, his face a mask of pain he couldn't quite hide. I know, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. No, don't apologize, I said quickly. You're a great guy and I care about you, just not like that. The lie tasted bitter. Holland forced a smile. It's okay. Can we just forget this happened? I nodded, relief and something like disappointment warring in my chest. As we left the diner, the space between us felt like miles. What the fuck had just happened? And why did it feel like I'd made a terrible mistake? Days turned into weeks. Holland's confession hung between us, unspoken but ever present. One night, my phone buzzed. Holland Star Wars Marathon? I've got pizza? I hesitated. Fuck it. Be there in 10. When I arrived, Holland answered the door in pajamas, hair mussed. My stomach did a weird flip. Nice outfit, I smirked. Shut up and get in here, he laughed, pulling me inside. We sprawled on his couch, demolishing the pizza as the opening crawl rolled. You know, Holland said, I've never met anyone else who likes pineapple on pizza. I grinned. That's because we're the only ones with taste. Our eyes met. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Holland broke the silence. Zane, about what happened. It's cool, I interrupted. Really, we're good. He nodded, relief evident. Good, because I miss hanging out with you. Me too, I admitted. As the night wore on, we fell into our old rhythm. Quoting lines, arguing about plot points, throwing popcorn at each other during the boring parts. It felt right, like coming home. By the time the credits rolled on Return of the Jedi, Holland was asleep on my shoulder. I should have moved. I didn't. Instead, I found myself studying his face. The curve of his jaw, the flutter of his eyelashes. My heart raced. What the fuck was wrong with me? I gently shook him awake. Hey, sleepyhead, movie's over. He blinked up at me, still half asleep. Stay. I knew I shouldn't. But, yeah, okay. As I settled onto the couch, Holland mumbled, Night, Zane, you're the best. I stared at the ceiling, wide awake. Night, Holland. I was so fucked. You're moving in with Holland. Ty's eyebrows shot up. Seriously. I shrugged, trying to look nonchalant. My parents are selling the house. Holland needs a roommate. It makes sense. Ty gave me a long look. If you say so, man. A week later, I was standing in Holland's our apartment, surrounded by boxes. Welcome home, Holland grinned, handing me a beer. Our fingers brushed. I ignored the spark. Living with Holland was intense. Everywhere I turned, he was there. Making coffee in the morning, hair sticking up, singing in the shower, falling asleep on the couch while we binged Netflix. It was torture. It was heaven. One night, I found him in the kitchen, cursing over a smoking pan. What the hell are you doing? I laughed. He turned, face flushed. I was trying to make dinner. To, celebrate you moving in. Something warm unfurled in my chest. You can't cook for shit. Hey, he flicked water at me. I retaliated. Suddenly we were in a full-on water fight, slipping on the wet floor, laughing like kids. I caught him around the waist as he tried to escape. We froze, pressed together, breathing hard. For a moment I thought he might kiss me. For a moment I wanted him to. The smoke alarm shattered the silence. Fuck, Holland yelped, scrambling to open windows.
As the smoke cleared, we looked at each other and burst out laughing.
Pizza, I suggested. He nodded, still chuckling. Pizza. Later, sprawled on the couch, full of pizza and beer, Holland murmured, "I'm glad you're here, Zane." I swallowed hard. Me too.
As I lay in bed that night, I could hear him moving around in the next room. So close. Too close.
What the fuck was I doing? I heard the front door slam. Shit. Holland was home early. Hole, I called out. No answer. I found him in the living room, soaked from the rain, eyes red. What happened, I asked, grabbing a towel. He looked up, his face crumpling. Nathaniel, he's been cheating on me. That fucking asshole, I growled, wrapping the towel around him. Holland broke down, sobbing into my shoulder. I held him tight, rage and something else burning in my chest. I thought he was the one he choked out. I stroked his back, trying to ignore how right it felt to have him in my arms. He didn't deserve you. We stayed like that for a long time, until his sobs quieted.
Sorry, he mumbled, pulling away. I got your shirt all wet.
Fuck the shirt, I said. Are you okay? He shook his head. Not really. Come on, I said, leading him to the couch. I'll get you some dry clothes. When I returned, he'd curled up in a ball, looking small and vulnerable.
Here, I said, handing him the clothes. Get changed. I'll make some tea.
In the kitchen, I gripped the counter, trying to steady myself. Seeing Holland hurt made me want to punch something, or someone. When I came back with the tea, Holland had changed into my sweats. They were too big on him, and something about that made my heart clench. Thanks, he said, taking the mug, for everything. I sat next to him, closer than necessary. That's what friends are for, right? He leaned his head on my shoulder. Zane, would you stay with me tonight? I don't want to be alone. I knew I should say no, but, of course.
That night, lying in Holland's bed, listening to his steady breathing, I realized something.
I'd do anything to protect him. To make him happy. Fuck. I was in way too deep. Weeks passed. Holland started smiling again. I tried to ignore how much I liked being the reason why. Let's go to the park, Holland suggested one sunny afternoon. I'm sick of being cooped up. I agreed, desperate for a distraction from the constant awareness of him. The park was quiet, secluded. We found a spot on the grass, away from the few other people around.
Remember the last time we were here, Holland asked, picking at the grass.
How could I forget? It was right after that football game, when he'd confessed his feelings. When I'd rejected him. Yeah, I said, throat tight, I remember. He looked at me, something unreadable in his eyes. A lot's changed since then, huh? Before I could respond, he grinned mischievously. Race you to that tree. You're on, I laughed, grateful for the break in tension. We took off, shoving each other playfully. Holland was faster than I expected. As he pulled ahead, I lunged, tackling him to the ground. We rolled, laughing, until I ended up on top of him. Suddenly, the laughter died. Holland was breathing hard, looking up at me. I could feel every point where our bodies touched. Zane, he whispered, and fuck, the way he said my name.
I don't know who moved first. Maybe we both did. But suddenly we were kissing.
It was nothing like I'd imagined. It was better. His lips were soft, eager. He tasted like the mint gum he'd been chewing earlier. I pulled back, stunned. Holland's eyes were wide, lips parted. I stammered. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
Holland cut me off with another kiss, fierce and desperate. I melted into it, all thoughts of shouldn't evaporating.
When we finally broke apart, we were both panting. Zane, Holland said, voice rough, "What does this mean?" I looked at him, really looked at him, at his flushed cheeks, his hopeful eyes, at the man who'd become my best friend, my roommate, my everything. It means I said slowly that I think I'm not as straight as I thought I was. Holland's laugh was bright and beautiful. I couldn't help but kiss him again. As we walked home, hand in hand, I realized something. For the first time in months, I felt right.
The walk home was a blur. Holland's hand in mine felt right, but my mind was racing.
"You okay?" Holland asked as we entered our apartment. I nodded, not trusting my voice. He pulled me to the couch, his eyes searching mine. "Talk to me, Zane. What's going on in that head of yours?" I took a deep breath. I'm scared whole. This is all new to me.
He squeezed my hand. "We can take it slow. Figure it out together."
I leaned in, pressing my forehead to his. "I like you. A lot, I think. I think I have for a while." His smile was blinding. "Yeah." "Yeah," I breathed, before kissing him again.
We spent the night talking, kissing, exploring. It was terrifying. It was exhilarating.
The next morning I woke up with Holland in my arms. For a moment, panic gripped me. What the fuck was I doing? But then Holland stirred, blinking up at me sleepily. "Morning," he mumbled, pressing a kiss to my chest. Just like that, the panic subsided. This was Holland, my best friend. The guy who got me like no one else did. "Morning," I replied, pulling him closer. Over the next few weeks, we navigated our new relationship. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes old insecurities reared their heads.
"Are you sure about this?" Holland asked one night, his voice small. "About us?"
I thought about the past few months. About movie nights and inside jokes. About the way my heart raced when he smiled at me. I've never been more sure of anything I said, meaning every word. He beamed, pulling me in for a kiss that left me breathless. Later, tangled up in bed, Holland tracing patterns on my skin, I realized something. "I think I'm bi," I said, testing the words out loud. Holland propped himself up on an elbow. "Yeah." I nodded, a weight lifting off my chest. "Yeah, I liked girls before. That was real. But this. Us. It's real too." He kissed me softly. "I'm proud of you, Zane."
As I held him close that night, I felt free. For the first time in my life, everything made sense.
I was Zane. I was bisexual, and I was falling hard for my best friend. Waking up next to Holland never got old. His warmth, his sleepy smile, the way he'd pull me closer before opening his eyes. "Morning, babe," he mumbled, nuzzling into my neck. I grinned, running my fingers through his hair. Morning. We'd fallen into a routine. Coffee in the morning, stolen kisses between chores, cuddling on the couch at night. It was domestic as fuck, and I loved every second of it.
One evening, sprawled on the couch watching some shitty reality show, Holland turned to me.
"Zane." I was distracted by the way his fingers were tracing patterns on my arm. "Have you thought about telling anyone? About us?" I tensed. We hadn't really talked about it. Not really. Have you?" He shrugged, not meeting my eyes. "A little. I mean, Ty and Ross probably suspect something's up. We haven't hung out with them in weeks."
Guilt twisted in my gut. We'd been in our own little bubble, ignoring the outside world.
"You're right," I sighed. "We should tell them." Holland's eyes widened. "Really? You're ready for that?" I pulled him closer. "I'm not ashamed of us, Hole. I love this." His smile was blinding. "I love us too." The next day, I called Ty. "Hey man, want to grab a beer tonight? Bring Ross."
Holy shit. He lives, Ty laughed. "Yeah, we're in. The usual place."
That night, sitting across from Ty and Ross, my palms were sweating. Holland squeezed my knee under the table. "So," Ross said, eyeing us, "what's new with you two?" I took a deep breath. "Actually, we have something to tell you guys." Ty leaned forward, a knowing glint in his eye.
Yeah.
I looked at Holland. He nodded encouragingly. Holland and I, we're together. Like dating.
There was a moment of silence. Then Ty burst out laughing.
Fucking finally, he crowed. Pay up, Ross. Ross grumbled, pulling out his wallet. Couldn't you have waited another month? I blinked, confused. Wait, what? Holland was laughing now too. You bet on us.
Ty grinned. Dude, we've been waiting for you two to get your shit together for months. We're happy for you.
Relief washed over me. I pulled Holland closer, not caring who saw. Later that night, lying in bed, Holland propped himself up on an elbow. So that went well. I chuckled. Yeah, I guess it did. He bit his lip. What about your parents? I thought about it. My hippie parents who'd always preached love and acceptance. I think they'll be okay with it, I said slowly. We should tell them. Holland's smile was soft. Yeah. I nodded, pulling him down for a kiss. Yeah, I want everyone to know how happy you make me. As we drifted off to sleep, I realized something. For the first time in my life, I wasn't scared of the future. With Holland by my side, I was ready for anything. You ready for this? Holland asked, squeezing my hand. I took a deep breath, staring at my laptop screen. My parents' faces smiled back at us from the Zoom call. As I'll ever be, I muttered. Then louder, Mom, Dad, there's something I want to tell you. My mom's eyes crinkled. What is it, sweetie? I glanced at Holland. He nodded encouragingly. Holland and I, we're together, we're dating. There was a moment of silence. Then my dad burst out laughing. Well, it's about damn time. My mom was beaming. Oh, honey, we're so happy for you both. I blinked, stunned. Wait, you're not surprised? Zane, darling, my mom chuckled. We've seen how you look at Holland. We were just waiting for you to figure it out. Holland was laughing now too. Told you they'd be cool with it. Relief washed over me. I pulled Holland closer, not caring that my parents could see. So my dad said, grinning, when's the wedding? Dad, I groaned, but I was smiling too. After we hung up, Holland pulled me into a kiss. See? Nothing to worry about. I rested my forehead against his. I love you, you know that. He froze. It was the first time I'd said it. I love you too, he whispered, eyes shining. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. We told our other friends, our co-workers. Each time it got easier. One night we decided to host a dinner party. Our apartment was packed. Ty and Ross, some guys from work, even my parents who'd flown in for a visit. As I looked around the room, at Holland laughing with my mom, at Ty and Ross bickering over the last slice of pizza, I felt something settle in my chest. This was my life now. These people, this love, it wasn't what I'd expected, but it was everything I needed. Later, after everyone had left, Holland and I slow danced in our living room, swaying to no music. Hey, he said softly, remember that football game? When I first told you I had a crush on you. I chuckled. How could I forget? I was so confused. He grinned. And now look at us. I pulled him closer. Best confusion of my life. As we kissed, I thought about everything that had led us here. The friendship, the doubts, the moments of clarity. The journey of discovering who I really was and who I wanted to be with. It hadn't been easy. But standing here, in the arms of the man I loved, surrounded by the acceptance of our friends and family, I knew one thing for certain. It had been worth it. Every single moment. I love you, Holland, I murmured against his lips. His smile was brighter than the sun. I love you too, Zane, always.